Welcome back to the Fishing Not Catching podcast.
We should probably introduce ourselves. I don't even know if we did that.
I was thinking about that, but I don't really.
We're new to this.
Are we Bearded Brad or am I Brad? How do I introduce myself?
I guess just Brad. You might need to be a little closer to the mic. You see how close I am?
Touch it.
I'm like eating the mic.
Touch it. If you notice in the last podcast, I feel like
we learned some lessons.
If the last podcast you could not hear me, it's because I was like this far away. Apparently, I need to put my lips on it.
You got to like.
I have 4 kids. I'm good at putting my lips on it. I don't know if I can say that.
We're off to a fantastic start, Brad. Welcome to the Fishing Not Catching podcast.
Do you want to start over?
No, I think we're good.
Okay. Here we go. Let her rip.
My name is Matthew, also known as Bama Beach. I thought you were going to do it for me. I was waiting for the juicy, deep tone.
Bama Beach Bum.
Yeah. Beautiful.
I have a question about that. So your name is Matthew. Yeah. I pretty much call you Matt. Do you have a preference?
Everybody asks me that. If you ask my mother, she will say his name is Matthew. And I always introduce myself as Matthew.
Yeah.
But
I've noticed that. But I generally I used to call you Matthew, and now for whatever reason I just call you Matt. But
yeah, I don't care either way. I mean, I obviously being in social media, I get called way worse.
Yes.
So
100%.
Matt is fine. I'm really good with that.
Sweet. We'll go with Matt.
Yeah.
And I'm Brad.
Also known as Bearded Brad.
You got to work on the deep voice.
I can't get it out. Like it's just like it doesn't even come out.
I feel like I need a higher mic stand.
Are we cutting your head off on the video?
I don't know.
Can we still see you, Brad? I think
we're good. I just feel like I'm like hunched over my mic.
I'm a short fella.
You are.
So it's
How tall are you?
I'm 5'8".
5'8".
How tall are you?
6'2".
Really? I mean, I know you're a tall fellow. 6'2". That's pretty big. Are you taller than Brant?
I don't know.
That's angler up with Brant.
I'm not sure how tall he is. I don't know. We've never stood back to back or front to front.
Well, you're good at
I don't know.
lips on it.
I don't know why I had to justify that, but anyways, welcome back to the podcast.
We're here, and
you probably already clicked away.
Sorry to subject you to
that got weird real quick.
It did. Well, we this is our second podcast.
Yeah,
and we're learning lessons and trying to figure this stuff out. Hopefully, if you tuned into the first one, it was halfway decent enough to click another one.
Yeah. If you're here, you probably watch. Well, I guess not necessarily.
Watch the first one.
Yeah.
Or listened.
Yeah. Maybe not.
And that's gonna be
still new.
That's gonna be hard for me to get used to as a podcast to be like watched versus listened.
Right.
Or the things that are different about listening to something versus just watching it.
For sure. And because we are filming, but not everybody's watching.
Right. I mean, hopefully we have people listening to us at some point.
There's probably nobody even here.
Mean, we have no expectations of anyone listening to it in the beginning on Spotify, iTunes, or where else do you even post a podcast?
There's Apple, Google, Spotify, and then there was a bunch of other ones that I saw, but I've never heard of.
Really? Like just a bunch?
Yeah.
Because that's on the...
10.
We talked about this in our other podcast, but the Real Simple Syndication...
Yeah,
which is really
they make it very simple.
Pretty cool.
It is very cool.
I think that's pretty neat, but something I have no experience with.
I wish I could do that with short form content. Like if I just post a reel somewhere and they posted it to all the platforms for me.
It's nice. Probably out there or somebody's working on it. Probably the difficulty would be getting all these platforms on board, just because then they
don't like each other.
They hate each other.
Yeah,
absolutely hate each other.
Yeah.
So anything that's going to help promote
the
any
other
other
one, they're like,
they're gonna be like,
I don't want nothing to do with it.
We're out of that.
But you want to go ahead and jump into the juicy topic of today?
We've got some good stuff to talk about.
Yeah, so some interesting videos.
Yeah,
encounters.
We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about clickbaiters. People ask us about that all the time.
Yeah, it's still a thing.
And people think, like, I get comments about this. People think, we've mentioned Brant several times, but they think that me and Brant, like, don't like each other or something.
Yeah, y'all have definitely not fished together nearly as much as you did when y'all first started.
Right.
But
Yeah.
we'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Why don't we fish together? Do you know why we don't fish
you
together?
and Brant?
Yeah.
Is there a reason?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Did he tell you something?
That's for another podcast. No.
We'll talk about that later. We'll get into that. Yeah. Brad just made a gigantic purchase. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Huge purchase.
Biggest purchase of my life.
Yeah.
Well, aside from cars.
Yeah.
Like I bought
Well,
cars.
the biggest purchase that you paid cash
That
for.
I've paid cash for, yes. I did not have to finance
I mean,
it.
that's a big deal.
Yeah.
And of course, we'll talk about some social media stuff. We'll talk about whatever. This is our second podcast. We actually haven't even gone live with anything. So if you've asked questions or made suggestions, we have seen none of it.
Yep.
So
Nothing.
we're not ignoring you, I promise. We just have not even launched yet.
Yeah, trying to get a few in the tank.
Under the belt. So this is just from social media experience. We are just trying to get several videos and podcasts out there. And then when we start actually directing people to it, we'll already have some sitting there waiting for you to consume.
A show.
So we haven't actually, nobody's seen or heard the first one at this point.
As of right now, no.
We have no feedback. We should probably not be doing things the way that we're doing it, but we're just doing it.
We're trying to figure it out.
We're going for it. So, Brad, you I'm going to start with this. You have in your social media endeavors, you've had a huge rise to fame, stardom.
I don't know if I'd go that
influence. I don't know. I feel weird when I say those things. I mean,
I know because it does sound weird. It's like
yeah,
when we bought my wife's car, they were like, when I was doing finance, they're like, "So what do you do for work?" I'm like,
post videos on the internet.
I fish. I posted it on YouTube. He's like, "Are you an influencer?" I'm like,
Sure.
I guess.
Yeah. Are you famous?
I don't know how much influence I have, but
I get that question a lot. People when I get introduced to new people in our life, whatever it may be, they're like, "So are you famous?" And
Yeah.
I'm like, "No." I mean, just somebody. I mean, somebody watches my stuff and knows who I am.
Sometimes people in my family say I'm famous. I'm like, I'm not famous.
I've actually got a good story about that.
Yeah?
We can talk about that later. But just something that happened that was kind of funny. But
Yeah.
we'll talk about that. But so you've had this huge rise, and you've done something and taken it to the max that has really provided a lot of success with game warden videos. You were like the game warden video.
Not on purpose. None of this was
the law.
None of it is going out and looking for trouble. I just
You
happened.
sure about that? It seems like
none of the videos I even really did anything. I was just at the right place at the right time. And it's very interesting that game warden videos bring up so much tension or get so much attention.
Oh, man.
But they do.
People love to chime in on that stuff.
Yeah. It's interesting. So I'd been posting for, 2 years or something and not really had a big video. And then I posted a game warden video and it shot to the freaking moon.
How many views does that have right now?
On YouTube right now, 1.6 million.
That's a lot of views.
On Facebook, over 5 million.
5 million?
On TikTok Reels, or on TikTok, 5 million.
Shoo! That's a lot, Brad.
It's pretty crazy.
That's a lot of views. And that,
on one dang video.
That's definitely considered viral, especially in our niche.
Yes.
When it comes to fishing and saltwater fishing. That's a huge video.
For sure. And it was...
For example, just to give somebody some context a little bit, I've been doing this for 5 years. My biggest video on YouTube is 1.2 million. And I only even have 2 videos over 1 million.
So I have a bigger video than you.
You sure
Look at me.
You sure enough, dude. And I've posted almost 500 videos. I'm at 460 something.
Nice.
That's a lot of videos. So out of 460 something videos, I don't have a video of that size. That's a lot.
Maybe you should go try to find some game wardens.
I've even posted a couple game warden videos.
Yeah.
But everything, it's got to be right.
It does.
There has to be some components to it. it can't just be a game warden video. There has to be something that keeps people's attention.
Yeah.
Well, it can be. It can be, and it'll get clicks and it'll get views.
Yeah.
But if you want,
but
to
not
get
millions.
to that level,
Yeah.
You've got to,
because this is definitely the biggest
Yeah.
game warden video for me. I've had others that have done well. This one, it was it was my first one and definitely my most viewed one. And it was interesting because it's like we post on YouTube and Facebook, and I posted this video on Halloween, and we were with you, and we went trick or treating, and I didn't pay the video any attention, and we got home that night, and it had like, I don't even remember exactly, but like a couple 100,000 views in just like a few hours.
Dang.
And like I'd never
Had that.
No, it was like I'm lucky if I get 1,000
Right.
views. So this was obviously like something's happening.
Sure.
And then I woke up the next morning and it had almost 1 million views. And I was like, what in the world? This is crazy.
That's
And-
like instant fame.
And I
Instant
was,
stardom.
for like 3 days, I was getting over 1 million views a day on Facebook on that video. It lasted like 4 or 5 days.
That's a lot.
And then it pretty much slowed down on Facebook, but
That's hard
yeah,
to do.
It got like over 5 million
It's very
views
hard
in like 4 days.
We all put in this amount of effort and energy between me and you and Brant and Ron and,
Yeah.
and other people that we communicate with, and it's very difficult to hit a video
Oh, for sure.
of that
For sure.
level. But I'd say ever since then, I mean, and you've had some other big videos that
Yeah.
hit, but like that was probably your moment.
That video definitely shot me in an upwards projection as far as growing on YouTube and growing on Facebook. I mean, I've not just the revenue from it, but the amount of following I got from that video. I mean, you reach a whole lot of people with
Right.
videos over 1 million views. Well, you reach over 1 million people.
How many people do you reach, Brad?
Very simple math there. But like those are people that never would have seen my stuff had it not been for this one video.
Sure.
And so it really catapulted me and definitely helped me in growing on the platform.
Which the way social media works, if you're unfamiliar, even though that video, so all these people click on it, they find it, all these millions of people that have never seen Mr. Brad over here before. But now, since they watch that video, if they watch a decent portion of it, which they are because it's a good video, it's getting promoted,
Right.
so they're watching enough of it to keep YouTube happy, YouTube is going to then put more of his videos in front of those people.
Yeah.
So like when you get a video like that takes off, it boosts everything on
Yeah.
your channel or your page
Yeah.
or whatever. So like those types of moments can be huge for you. And it's almost to your disadvantage for somebody. Like fortunately for you, you hit that video. How long were you in your YouTube journey?
2 years?
So, like that's perfect because now you have this backlog of videos.
Right. Yeah.
That okay, now they found you, they have all this stuff that they can go watch.
Yeah.
Which is why, like at the beginning, I said, hey, at the beginning of this podcast, I talked about, well, that's why we're trying to put up a few videos before we launch. Same reason, because when people come here, we want them to not just watch one video. We want
Right.
them to
Have
watch
multiple
a few
things.
at least,
Yeah.
something to watch. But
For
no,
sure.
that probably was your moment to really catapult you to where you are. You've done well.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you've got a very large social media following. If you add it all together, how many you got followers? TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all of it.
Well, Instagram, I got 6,000. No.
Instagram's tough.
No.
It's the toughest.
Yeah, it is 6,000.
It's the hardest of all.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't post a lot over there anyways.
Yeah.
But either way, roughly 150,000 on Facebook. I don't know for sure. Almost 40,000 on YouTube, 70,000 on TikTok. So a little over 200,000
Yeah. Well, you're well over that.
all together.
That's pretty good, man. 250,000.
Yeah.
Somewhere around that range. That's
Yeah, somewhere in there.
That's a decent following.
Well, I'll take it.
That's awesome. So these game warden videos, like it's nothing new. People have posted those for a while.
Oh yeah, for
It's
sure.
one of those YouTube trends.
Yeah.
But you got to hit it right because I've done them. Most people have if they've fished long enough and posted videos.
Yeah, I mean the people definitely want some juiciness going on in that video.
So one of them you posted was like the juiciest I think was on the Gulf Shores Pier.
Oh God, I knew that was gonna come up here.
And I don't know. I don't know what like that guy that was in the video that works at the pier.
Yeah,
I don't know him. I fished the pier several times, but he was. You blasted him, man. I don't. Do you know his name?
No.
You should.
I'm sorry.
You should give him an apology.
I didn't do anything wrong.
I understand that. Obviously, if you've seen the video, he definitely did not need to act the way he did. No, but he probably was unaware of the blasting that he was about to receive.
He did not know what he had coming. Oddly enough, the next time I saw him on the pier, he didn't say a word.
I would think not. I think he would keep his distance.
Yeah, I mean that video did well everywhere, but it did best on Facebook Reels. It got like millions on the Reels. It did good as full videos, but yeah, that a lot of people saw him. Yeah, it was getting a lot of shares from all the pier rats.
So this was a video. What we're talking about. We have a pier here. It's Gulf State Park Pier.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Gulf State Park Pier.
Gulf State Park Pier. And there is some confusion on that.
Yeah.
As far as what the rule is, but basically
not really.
Yeah.
I mean there is not a rule on it.
Right. Well, there's certain
it's just
things
only
technically not supposed to overhand.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen this video, basically he tells us that we can't overhand cast. We'll back up a little bit. So we're all at the end of the pier, and the Spanish are running, and so we're all just slinging lures at Spanish, trying to catch some Spanish. And of course, casting over our head, just like this, if you're watching
like you would normally
YouTube.
cast.
Yeah. And so he comes up to us, and he's initially talking to this kid that's fishing next to me. And he's like, hey, man, we just had a lady come up and was complaining that you almost hooked her son. And he was like, y'all can't overhand cast. And so it got everybody's attention. We're like, we can't overhand cast. And so I was already filming for fishing. So I turned and looked at him. I'm like, so you're telling us we cannot overhand cast? And like another guy fishing next to me is kind of stirring the pot, right, maybe a little bit.
But
nothing crazy.
He probably should. I wasn't there, but I was filled in. He probably shouldn't have come in the way he did.
Yeah.
But I understand where he's coming from.
Yeah. So what happened is when he first said that we can't overhand cast, and we were kind of questioning it, he was like, "Well, y'all can just leave." And then the guy next to me goes, "Well, those people can just leave too." And that kind of got under the security guard's skin there,
because he was being snooty or whatever it is, or what's the word, like smart aleck.
I don't know if we can use.
We'll try to keep it clean.
Little PG here,
right? But and I get that, because I would, had he come out there and acted like that, like I try to keep my head cool. I try not to get in altercations, especially in a place like that where people know who you are and that kind of thing. I would have felt the same way that he felt, your friend. Yeah. But I just wouldn't have said it. Yeah. But I would have been feeling it. Yeah. I would have thought it.
And so as soon as he said, well, they can just leave too, like that's when things got a little bit heated. And the security guard lost his cool a little bit and probably acted the way he shouldn't have. He was never like extremely disrespectful. Like I even got a call from like head of law enforcement for the state of Alabama, and I thought I was in trouble.
Have you told people this?
No.
Have you put that,
this is the first time anybody knows us publicly.
I think that's hilarious.
The head of law enforcement for the entire state of Alabama calls me,
Brad, from this video.
It was like, do you care if I record this conversation? And I was like, no.
Oh crap! Your first thought
and
is
you like
pooped your pants.
Yeah, I'm like, he's gonna ask me to take this video down. He's gonna ask me to come in his office. I'm gonna be banned off the pier. He's like, well, just to start the conversation, like I'm a huge fan. I love your videos. I'm like, thank you, Lord. I am safe. I'm not going to jail today, baby.
That's the best feeling.
Speaking of going to jail, during that video, after the security guard left, my friend that I was with was still a little heated after everything, and he was like, "You got my back, Brad?" And I was like, "Yeah, I got your back, but I'm not going to jail for you over this." And I actually got a lot of like backlash and hate because I said I got your back, but I'm not going to jail. I didn't mean I would never go to jail for him for over something if it was like a big deal. I am not going to jail for somebody over overhand casting on a pier.
Yeah, we'll just
again.
we'll
I have 4 kids. I'm not going to jail over fishing.
It's got to be a little bit bigger cause.
Yeah,
than
yeah.
that.
If you're getting attacked, yes, I will come in and fight and help you. But
that's crazy though.
So yeah,
the
head law. I don't even. I'd have to look up what his title when he first messaged me.
But I remember that when you told me that you got that phone call and how you were nervous about that, and I would have been too. I would have been thinking he's gonna.
But the reason I was getting into talking to him is because the security guard again acted maybe a little more aggressive than he should have.
He totally
but
went off.
He didn't do anything like crazy. I told the guy, I was like, he doesn't need to lose his job over this. Like it wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah.
And my friend kind of was pushing some buttons, but
maybe a little bit.
All in all, it was okay situation. Did good. There's a sign. If we can pop it up for those watching on YouTube, there's now a sign at the entrance of Gulf Shores Pier that says something along the lines of "Please be cautious or beware of those throwing lures off the pier."
Really?
Yes.
This is news to me. I didn't know that. So
I put it in one of my last videos that you didn't watch.
Okay, yeah. I don't watch. It's a lot.
I don't watch all yours either.
I don't even watch mine.
Yeah.
I mean, once it's up there, it's like we're done. Moving on.
But yeah,
but that's really. I mean, that's a big deal.
Yeah, there is a sign.
You have made,
and so that proves that we were not breaking the law, because now it doesn't say you cannot overhand cast. It wants those that are walking down the pier to be cautious of those overhand casting.
Which is
so you are still allowed to do it.
A
if you go out there.
Huge improvement for Gulf Shores or Gulf State Park Pier.
Yeah, hashtag setting the standards over here, baby.
That's right, because that's something that is typically like they're going to lean more towards the tourists.
Yeah, Gulf Shores, it's an educational pier. Right. They care a lot about tourists.
Not a fishing pier.
Yeah.
So you power to you, Brad. You're making the change. Here's to you. What's that?
Getting it done.
What's that beer commercial? Here's to you, Mr.
Oh, yeah.
Those commercials that they used to, I don't remember what beer it was. Those were good commercials.
I can't remember what that is.
Here's to you, Mr. Making rules change on the pier.
Is that like the old guy that talks in the deep voice? But here's to you, Mr.
Yes. Yeah, whatever.
Setting the new laws on the pier. Guy.
Yeah. Here, raise a glass to you. No, that's awesome, man. But that was a big video. It took off for you.
Yeah.
You've had several.
I've had a few, yeah.
And I
don't know why. Like, again, I'm not out there looking for trouble. I'm not doing any of this stuff on purpose. I'm not calling the
But people
law.
love drama.
They do. Absolutely.
They want drama, which is why, so clickbaiters.
Yep.
We started a thing called clickbaiters. We have a little group, kind of like a boy band.
Yeah, we dance sometimes.
This is factual, and we sing.
We sing karaoke.
Factual.
Do you want to hear a piece? We'll save that for another podcast.
Yeah, Brad made his entry into
Bearded Cheryl.
He made his entry into the clickbaiters by karaokeing with Ron.
It was not one of my finest moments.
It was hilarious.
It was something.
The first
clickbaiters video.
But we the reason we bring this up, for one, we call ourselves the clickbaiters because people love drama.
Because of you guys.
and we get so clickbait. We'll define that for you. Clickbait is for YouTube specifically. It's when you
say something or put on your thumbnail that is not even accurate in the video.
So clickbait would be really, the way it started was people would post these fishing videos or videos in general, whatever, and they would have like this really hot chick in very risque clothing,
right?
Bikini, thong, whatever, and that's the thumbnail picture of this video,
right?
And so of course, a lot of red-blooded American men are clicking
it.
Let's that video. They want to see this hot chick in a bikini or thong or whatever, maybe.
Right?
And you get on the video, and it has absolutely nothing to do with that. Like, it makes no sense. There's no correlation. It was simply just to get you to click. So it's a complete and total lie.
Yeah.
Now, what we do we get called clickbait.
Yeah.
A lot of time. But what we do is we have to make our titles interesting.
Yep.
We can't just say, "Hey, I caught a big whiting today."
Yeah, because nobody's watching that.
I caught a big whiting on the beach. Like
With
nobody.
a picture of you holding a whiting.
Nobody's going to click that video.
Yep.
And it's very important that we get people to click these videos, because if they don't, we're out of a job,
Right.
Which is okay. There's other things we can do, but this is what we want to do. This is what we're choosing. And obviously, people enjoy our content.
For sure.
We get people that watch it. But in order to grow and continue to do what we do, it has to be interesting.
Yes.
So we don't ever lie to you, ever.
Yeah.
I'll never lie to you in a title. I will never say... I'm trying to think of an example.
That's what I was going to think. I'm going to pull up.
You're going to pull up the title?
Yeah, so the video we were speaking of earlier, my first big game warden video, I got a lot of comments that was clickbait. The problem...
Yeah, it should be the top video.
Yeah, it's the top
So what's
one.
its title?
So the title is Game Warden was just checking licenses, but then this happened. And I got to click on to see the end of the title. Expensive fine. So I ended it with expensive fine.
Right.
And so there was a guy, if you're not familiar with the state of Alabama, red snapper season, when it is in season, is only open Fridays through Mondays, which is a crazy rule anyways.
Yeah.
But it's the law. You can only keep red
Sure.
snapper Friday through Monday. I was fishing at Perdido Pass, and it was a Thursday. Guy catches a red snapper of legal size. It was over 16 inches, but he's a day too early, and he put it in his cooler. The game wardens come down. They're checking everybody's fishing licenses.
Convenient. I've never been checked there before.
Yeah.
You are a lucky man,
Yeah.
Brad.
It worked out in my favor. So they came down. They're checking fishing licenses, and they're also asking to look into people's coolers to see what they have. Dude opens his cooler. He doesn't even know he's in the wrong. And there's a red snapper in the cooler. So they take his red snapper. They take the guy back to their truck. They write him a ticket and all this. And so in my title, I said expensive fine. Now, I did get a fine.
Mm-hmm.
It was $50. Now, expensive is up to anybody's interpretation. But the max fine is like $500. $500 is an expensive
Right,
fine.
that's a big one.
And so I speak about that in the video that
Sure.
he could have got a fine up to $500. He only got $50 fine to some people
But it
is
can,
expensive.
depending if you're a jerk or something and they really want to ruin your day.
It could be
They can write you
$500.
$500.
Yeah. But even so, like expensive, that word is up to interpretation.
Very much so.
Everybody's expensive.
$50 very well could be
Right.
Is expensive for a lot.
Yeah. I mean, if you're a young kid and you can barely put gas
Sure.
in your car to go fishing, you get a $50 fine.
It's a big deal.
You don't know how you're going to pay the thing. That's expensive. So I got a lot of people that said that video was clickbait.
No,
I mean,
it describes
It's
exactly.
all up to interpretation.
Game wardens showed up.
Yep.
Check.
They were checking licenses.
Checking licenses.
Yep.
Check.
And they were
And then, of course,
in
being-
parentheses, expensive fine.
Well, you said, and then this happened.
And
which
then this
a lot of
happened,
people
yeah.
get frustrated about that, but you can't give away all the information
Yeah.
in the video. You got to click it. We need you to watch it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to just spell everything out for
Let
you.
me tell you everything that happens.
So you don't have to watch the video.
Right.
You need to click on it, and
Yeah.
if it's no good, you can click off. That's fine. I at least need you to get you there.
Yeah.
And then it's up to me to keep your attention, but I got to get you to click first. And if I
So.
tell you everything, you're not. So it's definitely not clickbait.
Yeah.
Everything you put in that title happened in that video.
Yeah.
You almost gave away too much information.
I know.
If we're being honest,
I told you everything.
you pulled your pants
Game
down.
Warden shows up.
Yeah. you gave them the whole story.
Yeah.
Brad. I
But
mean,
it worked.
but it worked.
And I didn't clickbait you. I'm sorry.
But people get frustrated about
Yeah.
that. Like that title, I guarantee. I haven't read your comments about it, but I guarantee you, people were upset about that.
Yeah. But it's always funny when you get that clickbait comment because like you'll be reading through your comments and one's going to be like, oh, that was clickbait, stupid video. Don't watch this. And then the next comment's like, dude, I love this
Amazing,
video.
best
Best
ever."
video you've ever posted. I'm like, they will literally be back to
Yes,
back. I'm
yes,
like,
it's really funny.
that's the whole point of
But
it's up
that's-
to
That's a
interpretation.
great. I'm glad you brought up that title and broke that down because
Yeah.
that's a great explanation of how we have to title these videos. If you just titled the video What'd you catch in that? Did you catch anything?
Yeah, I caught sheep's head.
Okay, so if you would just title that video, I caught a sheep's head under a bridge.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It would have 8,000 views right now.
Maybe.
But instead, it's got 1.6 million.
Exactly.
Because a game warden was there, and I said it.
You didn't lie to anybody?
I did not lie.
We're not going to lie to you. So it's not technically what I'm saying, getting at clickbait.
Yeah.
But the reason we call ourselves the clickbaiters is because not everybody, a lot of people have accused us
of clickbaiting.
So we just turned it around. Fine.
Right. Whatever.
We're clickbaiters.
We'll be the clickbaiters.
Whatever. You want to call us clickbaiters? We're clickbaiters. And it kind of correlates. We're all fishermen.
Yeah.
And primarily post fishing content. And so it's kind of a play on that. Clickbaiters.
Yeah.
Baiting up something, baiting up a hook, whatever.
Yeah.
Using baits. So it's, I feel like it's appropriate.
Yeah. I agree.
But Brad is, we had, and people, the reason we brought it up too, number one was to explain where the name came from, but we haven't really made a lot of videos.
The clickbaiters?
Right.
No, not really.
We did, not as like what we were doing when we first launched the channel.
On that channel, the clickbaiters channel.
But we still do a heck of a lot together.
Oh, yeah.
Like
all the time.
Right now, for example, where me and you are doing a podcast.
I mean, it's probably not weekly, but it's at least once every 2 weeks I'm fishing with one of the other three of y'all.
Right.
We haven't really mentioned Ron much, but cameraman Ron is the other one in the clickbaiters.
Yeah.
I actually haven't fished with him in a while. I need to do that. We keep saying we're going to, and then we never make it happen. And that's the problem. So like me and Matt live like 5 minutes from each other. Brant and Ron live like 5 minutes from each other, but we live like an hour apart.
Away. And they've fished together more, maybe not as much this year, but they have in the past fished together. Yeah. Kind of like we do, just because it's easier. But it's hard, even living close. There's always something. And we're trying to be strategic about it. It's hard to collaborate. We've talked more about it this year where we try to not post the same video.
Right.
Because we do share so much of the same audience. A lot of these same people, a lot of you guys that actually watch the videos and stuff are watching both channels. So if we post the same day kind of video, we try to be strategic about it.
Right.
Where maybe one of us doesn't film, or if we are filming together,
share the footage or try to show different.
Not show each other.
Try not to make the exact same video.
Right. Exactly. So because I can see where that would be, because I follow other YouTubers that collaborate a decent amount, and when they would post videos from the same day, if I'd already seen one, it's
it definitely makes it hard to watch again. You already know what happened.
It's the same thing. Yeah. So it does need some differentiation there. So that's a difficult thing, but we still all do fish together.
Yep.
As much as we can.
For sure.
And try to make that content. And I think we're going to try to do podcasts and stuff. Not as good as the Fishing Not Catching podcast. Did we even say that at the beginning of this one? Did we say the Fishing Not Catching podcast?
I think so.
Did we? I can't even remember.
I thought so.
It's hard to keep up.
I'm just going to make it my job. Welcome back to the Fishing Not Catching podcast. My name is Brad. This is the host, Matt. Welcome. That sounded way worse than what I had planned out in my head.
We have a recording. I don't know if it was this podcast or the last one, but we have a recording.
Fishing Not Catching.
That was pretty good.
All right.
Juicy. You got a much juicier tone to you than I do.
It's all the years of smoking.
You did smoke?
Yeah. I used to smoke and dip.
How long did you smoke?
I mean, I consistently, like, there was a point where I was smoking like a pack a day. It probably didn't last for that long.
That sounds like a lot.
It is a lot. I mean, that's 20 cigarettes.
But there's some people that smoke like
2 packs a day, 3 packs a day.
Right. Yeah. That's not uncommon.
Right? No. I'd say a lot of people that like smoke on a regular basis probably smoke a pack a day.
That's like the norm.
Yeah.
If you're a smoker,
you're probably more than likely. Yeah.
Okay.
And it was like, for me, it was a lot of just the habit of, like I was working construction out of high school. So it was like, get in the truck in the morning, smoke a cigarette, get to the job site, smoke a cigarette, get tired of working for a little bit, go outside and smoke a cigarette, eat lunch, smoke a cigarette, on the way home, smoke a cigarette. But for me, a lot of times, like when I got home, very rarely would I just like get off the couch and go outside just to smoke a cigarette. Like if I had other people over that also smoked, I would, but it was a lot of the habits of like what I was doing outside of the house. But I was also dipping, so a lot of times then at night I would just dip and
now
I'd have to go outside. But
YouTube and Facebook analytics.
Yeah, that's my addiction now.
That is our addiction.
My wife can vouch for me on that one. It's very hard to put my phone down.
It's weird how
it's not good.
It's not, and I do the same thing. I'm not casting judgment on you.
Shots fired.
Yeah, I do the same exact thing. I'm sure, and I'm not around Brant as much as I am around you, but I'm sure he does the same thing. I mean, when I'm around him, I see him looking at his phone pretty regularly.
It's hard not to, because we're on so many different platforms, and we post literally daily between everything. We're always just trying to keep up, and not that checking the analytics is going to make anything happen. Like occasionally we will adjust a title or thumbnail, but like ultimately there's nothing we can do. So I just checking my phone right now, I'm not going to be able to fix a video I posted this morning. So.
But you're still going to look at it. It's there's fun to it.
Yeah.
When a video is doing well, it's fun to watch those numbers and things go up.
Like that game warden video, I basically just held my phone and hit refresh and just watched it. Because then it's literally like you got 200,000, 250,000, 300,000. Like it's moving so fast.
Right, which is cool.
It's wild.
But most of the time, I check it out of habit.
Yeah.
Because it's like smoking a cigarette or whatever else. It's just, or anybody looking at their phone. I ask Courtney a lot of the times, I'm like, why do other people look at their phones?
Yeah.
Because I was like, if I didn't have analytics to check.
I know. I think the same thing sometimes because like I'm so busy between checking analytics or like texting y'all about fishing or whatever it may be, or like checking emails. And then when my wife looks at her phone, I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, what are you looking at?
What do you have to look at?
I hope it's one of my YouTube videos.
Right.
and hit a like or something.
Yeah.
But it
is funny.
Just a habit. Or I do, whether a video is doing good or bad, I want to know when so that I have the data to maybe understand why and how things are performing.
Change something different for the next one.
Yeah, and also just to know, okay, what's the pattern right now? Because a lot of the times these YouTube algorithms, they'll change where you may post a video and you get a huge amount of views from the get-go, and that video does well, and then it kind of dies down and it's an average video. Or sometimes you post a video and it does absolutely terrible at the beginning, and then it picks up and does better.
Yeah,
and sometimes,
it's very strange.
It's not, and sometimes you go through strings of that where it's just kind of a pattern of how YouTube's promoting your content.
Yeah,
which is weird. We don't understand it, but I like to follow that stuff and kind of know when videos do well, when they do bad.
Right.
It's just whether or not I can do much about some of those things, whatever. But I just like to know.
Yeah, for sure.
It's hard to stop looking.
It is. It's very hard.
Yeah.
You not too terribly long ago took a trip completely without your phone.
Yes, that was the end of last year. We're planning to do that again.
Yeah.
Which it was huge.
Yeah. I'm going to have to do that.
It was a big help for me. Mentally, everything. Which if you've never done it, because everybody's addicted to their phone.
Yeah.
Everybody. I mean,
to some level, yeah.
But we're really bad. We're some of the worst.
Yeah.
Social media influencers, I promise you, are the worst.
It's tough.
Looking at your phone. Because I could look at my phone right now and they're not looking at it from a standpoint of like scrolling Facebook, which I do that sometimes too. You know, scroll mindlessly or whatever. But I can pick up my phone and I can look at comments. I can look at messages. I don't do it all the time, but like I can check a few things.
Right.
And just have something to do.
Yeah.
I always have something to do. I can go look at my analytics. I can look at my Instagram analytics. I can go look at my YouTube analytics. I can look at my Facebook analytics. I can go see how my last TikTok video is doing.
Right.
There's just and then by the time I do all that, it's been a decent amount of time. Well, I can go through the rounds again.
Do it all again. Yes, for sure.
There's just a constant cycle of stuff that I can look at and be entertained.
Yeah.
So it's good to put the phone down. It was good. We did an end of the year trip last December. Me and my wife. We went with my brother and his wife. No kids, and rented a cabin at the lake. I didn't take my phone. It was like 4 or 5 days, and absolutely
that's crazy.
No connection to anything, which was super nice. After the first half of the day, I'll be honest, like the first half of the first day that I didn't have my phone, there were several times that I reached in my pocket,
expecting
to pull out my phone.
Yeah, I bet.
Just out of habit. But after that, it was just about half a day, and then after that, I got used to it.
Yeah.
And it was nice. It was because I grew up. I'm 30. I'll be 35 in October. So when I was a teenager, I had the experience of I didn't even have a cell phone until I was 16.
Yep.
And when I got one, it was
Playing Snake.
It was the Nokia. It was the legit brick Nokia phone when I was 16. The only reason I got it is because I was 16. My parents wanted me to have it. So I was still part of a generation that grew up, as were you, I'm sure,
same.
that didn't have a cell phone.
Yeah.
And so I remember what life was like
right.
before cell phones.
Yeah.
And that's what it kind of took me back to. Like, I remember just experiencing the moment and being around the people that I was with, and it's a big deal. So I recommend it.
Yeah. Things definitely move much faster when you have your phone.
Yeah.
Slow down a little bit and then enjoy it.
Yes.
But that's cool. I'm going to have to try that sometime soon. Somebody gave us a trip to Panama City Beach. We have 2 nights at a resort there that we're going to try to do sometime this fall. Take the kids. They've got like a cool water park and stuff, and gonna try to do that then. Yeah.
You gonna take the boat?
Probably not. If I take the boat, I'm gonna have to take my cameras. If I take cameras, I'll take my computer. If I take my computer,
now
take
you're
my phone.
connected. You can't just take the boat just to ride around.
No.
So tell them, Brad.
I don't want to miss. Yeah. You I didn't even catch on to that. I have a boat.
I was just interjecting that in there. It's a big deal, man.
It is, yeah. I bought a boat. Yep. I've had it it'll be a week on Monday, 2 days from now. It'll be a week. I've had it 5 days.
And
it's a better answer.
You got a relatively inexpensive boat.
Yeah.
But it still costs a lot of money.
For those of you that may have seen the SSPOS, which was my first boat, which was very inexpensive, it's definitely a step up from that. It 100% floats, 100% runs.
I went out with you the first time.
It works.
And it caught fish?
It caught fish. We put fish on the boat the first day out on the water, which was good.
Yeah.
It was the second time that I tried to put it in the water. First time was not successful.
Yeah, what happened?
So when I brought the boat home, my kids wanted to play with it, of course.
Sure.
And so I let them climb up.
You have 4 kids.
Yeah.
So it's bound
got to
to
keep them entertained somehow.
Yeah.
So my oldest 2 wanted to play in it, so I let them climb up there, and they're pushing buttons, turning stuff, doing stuff that I don't even know what it does. And when I bought the boat, the guy told me, hey, if you leave anything on, you're going to kill the batteries. Just like anything, though. You leave your lights on in your car, your car battery's going to be dead the next day. Well, apparently, unbeknownst to me, my kids turned on the fish finder, which I did not realize until I got to the boat ramp and went to launch the boat, and I noticed that the switch was on, and I was like, oh, that's weird. And I just turned it off, back down in the water, tilted the motor down, cranked it, nothing. I'm like so excited to take my first boat
buzzkill
on a little boat ride, and it's total buzzkill. So I drove back home.
Which did you know at the moment what it was? Or did you?
Yeah. So it was like trying to start. It was like
so you knew it was the battery.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I knew it was the battery.
Well,
and he had already told me, like, if you leave this on, the battery's gonna die. There's an onboard charger. Charge it. Whatever. So at that time I knew, but it
That's
hurt my soul.
I'm sure, but at least it wasn't.
It was simple. It didn't cost me any money.
Right.
So I went home, put it on the charger. And later that night, plugged the hose up to it and stuff so I could still run it. So I started it, ran, all was good in the world. And it rained for 100 days in a row, which it was really just 3 days later. It felt like 100.
Yeah, it did.
The next opportunity I had to take the boat out, I'm like, all right, I'm going. We're going to take the boat out. And I was leaving my neighborhood. Thankfully, I was still in my neighborhood, but I looked in my mirror, and for those watching, my tire's just wobbling like this. I'm like, that's not supposed to happen. So I stopped, and I get out and look, and I'm not a mechanic. I don't know what it's supposed to look.
Off your trailer.
The wheel is coming off of my trailer.
That's not
It is
kosher.
completely bent sideways. And I'm like, that's not supposed to happen. So I unhooked it, drove back to my house, and grabbed a jack, Came back, jacked up that side. As soon as I took the pressure off, the tire just fell off. Literally fell off. If I would have kept driving and I would have got on the highway, the tire would have fell off in the middle of the road and rolled down the road, and I would have just been like, sayonara.
I mean, that would have made some great YouTube content had you been filming.
Had it been rolling when it actually happened.
You just need a camera going all
24/7, yeah. That would be nice.
Fortunately, that didn't happen.
Yeah, fortunately, I saw that it was doing something it's not supposed to do, and I stopped. And so when the tire fell off, when I jacked it up, I was like, crap. I don't know what that's supposed to look like, but it's not supposed to look like that. Because if you are familiar with trailers, you have a hub, which is what has the lug nuts on it, which is connected to the trailer, and you put the tire on the lug nuts. Well, the lug nuts were still on the tire. The tire was laying on the ground. I mean, and I was just looking at an axle.
I'm not handy at all, but I could probably point that out and say, you know what?
That don't look right.
That doesn't look right.
So I started calling some people. I called my dad, and I was like, what do you know about trailers? He's like, not much. I was like, great. And so I told him what happened. He's like, you know what they say about buying a boat?
Break out another 1,000.
Yeah, well, he said basically that. But he said first
yeah.
the best 2 days of owning a boat is the day you buy it and the day you sell it. And I was like, well, I haven't even put it in the water yet, and we're already starting to bust out part of that 1,000 there. And so I posted on Facebook. I was like, do I know anybody that knows anything about what's happening right now? Is there anybody that can give me some insight or come help me? And so I got multiple people offering. A lot of people told me it was very simple, in which it was. And so a guy called me and he explained to me how to fix it. It was super simple. Like I had no idea. Like I've heard of people replacing hubs on a trailer, but I had no idea how easy it was. Like I went to the store, I bought a new hub. Everything's already there. I literally went back, put it on the axle, put the nut on, and put my tire on. Good to go.
I still wouldn't.
It literally took me like 10 minutes.
I wouldn't be able
and
to.
like $70.
It sounds overly complicated.
I thought it was going to be very expensive and very hard, but it was a process in its own, just because like I hadn't even put the boat in the water yet and I was already having issues, so that was not fun. But all in all, it was a very simple fix, and I didn't bust out a whole 1,000. I didn't even bust out 100. So
that's pretty good.
And until I went to the gas station to fill it up right after then I busted out 100.
Hey, at least gas prices have gone down a little bit.
Marine fuel has not.
Yeah. What'd you pay?
$4.50.
Man, that's pretty steep.
60-gallon tank. You do the math.
Wow. Well,
it's not good.
There's plenty of people, I'm sure, that are like have no sympathy because they may have boats have much longer.
Yeah.
Which is pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
But you got it out.
Yeah. Later that afternoon, you and I took it out, and
you like it had been raining all day, and Brad's like, we're texting, and he says, "Hey, I'm taking the boat.
We're doing it."
And I texted back. I said, "Have you looked at the radar?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, crap."
Yeah. This was right after I just felt like I was driving to go fill it up. You texted me like, "Check the radar." I was like, I didn't even do that.
Yeah.
I'm just too excited. It's not raining. I'm taking the boat out. You coming?
Literally still raining on your parade.
Yeah.
This is strike 3, basically.
Yeah. So I drove back home. My wife was like, what are you doing? I was like, it's raining. 3
times.
Yeah.
So there were 3 attempts to take this boat and put it in the water, and
got struck out on all 3 of them.
But the 4th time.
Later that afternoon.
Was
same day. It was.
Everything went smooth.
Yeah.
Had to work out the trim issue.
Yeah.
That was no big deal.
But all in all,
and
it was good.
Fish.
Matt caught the first fish.
I did catch the first fish
in my boat.
On your boat.
It
but
was.
You caught the nicest,
I dedefinitely caught the nicest. Yours was very small.
Very tiny. I'm used to that. I'm a small guy. That's the great thing about being small is when I take pictures with smaller fish, they at least look
still look bigger.
Yeah. If you take a picture with a 14-inch whiting, people are gonna be like. Pfft. But me, everybody's like, man, that.
If you've ever seen that picture on Facebook where somebody takes a action figure and puts like a little bait fish and it makes the fish look huge, that's what we do with Matt.
That's me.
You're like, you got a small fish, let Matt hold it. It'll look big.
there are advantages to being small.
Yeah, that's a good one there.
Yeah, especially being in the fishing industry. It's It's quite helpful.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what all comes out of this boat, and I need some ideas of what to do with the SSPOS.
I'm sure you can get plenty.
If you are familiar with that boat, comment down below if you're watching on YouTube, or if there's a way to comment on whatever you are listening on. Let us know. Like, I want some ideas.
We still don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if you can
comment. I don't know how that works.
I don't know either.
Because
I've never tried to comment on a podcast. Like, I've listened to a few, but I've never tried to like comment.
You can leave
there.
ratings. I'm aware of that, but I don't.
You can rate and review. You can drop a review about how terrible you think this podcast is right now. But I would love it if you give it like 5 stars.
If you give it 5 stars,
unless it's 10, then give us 10 stars.
You'll get a free fishing trip on Brad's new boat with Brad.
Yeah, Brant. You said Brant, right?
Sure. Yeah, Brant and Ron.
Yeah,
free fishing trip.
Yeah. Rate us, rate our podcast, and like this video, and you can be entered to win a trip with Brant and Ron on Ron's boat.
They'll totally be down for that. They're real good friends. They want to make sure they support what we do.
That's right, for sure.
So they're more than willing to give their time for that.
Yeah. We'll let them know what's happening.
Well, this was a fun show today.
This is a good one. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, we covered some good stuff, man.
Oh, game warden.
I know. And continue. Again, we still don't have any way to communicate with you because we have not posted anything yet.
Yep.
As we were filming our second podcast, which I guess we'll post them in order. I'm saying second. I have to now.
We have to because
like
the first one we like introduced us being the first podcast we've ever made. So you
so
have
I guess
to
we are
post
doing
these.
them in order.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is our second podcast, and we still haven't posted anything. So, but let us know. Comment below.
Yeah, we'll be replying to comments on YouTube and anything you want to hear us talk about. Let us know.
Yes,
anything like about us or just anything in general.
Fishing.
Give us some ideas.
We talked about fishing in this one, didn't we? I mean, we covered
briefly,
some stuff. Yeah. I mean, it's all relative. I mean, we talked about fishing stuff, so I think that's good. We can give more like technical stuff if we want.
Yeah,
but that could be kind of boring.
Yeah,
if we're being honest.
It's a fun show. This isn't straight information.
Yeah, I mean, we can get on here and talk about how to tie a rig, but this doesn't sound fun to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you want to hear that stuff, let us know, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we can do a little bit of that.
It.
Yeah, whatever they want. So. I'm here for the people.
That's right. We are here for you.
If we have our website up and running, make sure y'all go check it out, Bearded Bum Adventures. If you are wanting to book a trip, by this time it will be?
Well, no. It will be at some point.
Yeah. So if it's not right now, it's going to be up. Like,
make a note. Write it down.
Check it every day.
Yes.
But
Bearded Bum Adventures.
If you're coming down to the Panhandle or anywhere else, mainly around Florida is going to kind of how we start, but we will spread out to the entire country. If you're coming down and want to book a trip, Bearded Bum Adventures, you can book a fishing charter.
Place to stay.
You can book a place to stay.
All the things.
You can get a bachelor party.
And this was like to make things easier for you guys.
Right.
Because this is just stuff that we get all the time.
For sure.
People asking, and we kind of have all the connections for that to put everything in place. This is to make your life easier.
Absolutely.
We're here for you.
Yep.
That's all we're trying to do.
Yeah. Well, that was a good episode.
Yeah, man.
It was fun.
Did I just make a rhyme? We're here for you. That's all.
What'd you say?
I just made a rhyme.
What was it?
We're here for you. That's all we're trying to do.
We're here for you. That's all we're trying to do.
That's our new motto.
Let's see. One of these does something.
We don't know. You're going to push a button. It's not going to work, Brad. This is on our new board that we don't know what we're doing.
Can you say your rhyme again?
We're here for you. It's all we're trying to do.
I don't know if anything.
Oh, that's the applause.
Yeah.
You may be hearing applause now.
We will, in fact, have headphones at the next podcast.
Yes.
We got the things ordered. We're just waiting on them to come in.
We were so excited to record our first podcast.
Yeah.
We didn't even have all our equipment. We were just like, we can do it.
Well, I didn't realize that we had to have a different size headphone jack, but that's all right.
You got everything else right.
Yeah.
Well,
I think so.
We'll wrap it up.